yesterday was the Day of the Dead, All Souls Day.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, is it worthwhile, is it beneficial to connect with your ancestors that are dead?
Or try to connect.
Religious and traditions establish some kind of connection with ancestors. And this could be for the purpose of respecting ancestors, to continue with a lineage. But from spiritual standpoint, nothing is permanent. When somebody dies, their body dies, but their spirit continues. And spirit carries with it all the impressions and all the desires and all the sanskaras. So they immediately, within short period of time, they take on a new body. So really everything changes. The soul goes into new body and forgets about old relationship. Like when we come into this body, we forget our previous incarnations. And it is a blessing of God, because if we remember previous incarnation, we will go crazy. So many things are hidden. On the other hand, nothing is lost. Akashic record. Everything that happened is registered. It's still in the space. And it's a very scientific proof. On email you send a message. You send the pictures. And you can recall any time you want. So space is so infinite. So all the information is there. So sometimes they mention that you can contact spiritual masters. Spiritual masters who are liberated, who are not caught in the body or further transmigration. Their spirit, their consciousness is still there. Their energy is still there. So we can connect with that. Okay. But ancestors, that is probably tradition established by religion or by society, because it's just for remembering. And also people want some kind of connection with the lineage. So it gives them hope. Like going to cemetery, giving respect, all these are tradition for us, our remindery, so we remember that. Okay.
So are you saying that you basically, if you're trying to contact somebody that's dead, you probably are not?
There are so many psychics and healers and spiritual leaders. Most of them are fooling people.
Right.
Famous magician.
Houdini.
Houdini
exposed them all.
Right, he exposed them all. You see, because he could see them. And he also did one experiment with his mother. His mother protected him when he was under the ice, and her spirit guided her. So when I think his wife, he says, if after I die, if I leave the message, see if you can convey it, but no message came through. Something like this.
Right, yeah, they never figured it out.
Right. So it is more like for our consolation or for our comfort, we establish, because we have memory of them, and this way we keep picture of someone, ancestor. So it reminds us. So this is remindery, but the soul goes on and establishes new connections.
How can we contact then, using the Akashic records, how can we do that for the evolved souls? How would we go about that?
Just by meditation. But just like how we catch email or how we tune in our radio or TV, tuning in. So if we get intense in meditation and you are in that channel of thinking, you make connection and get inspiration.
But when I'm doing it, I want to be able to do, so am I thinking of a name, like if I'm thinking of Buddha, am I thinking of Christ, what would I be thinking so I can go about that?
Yes, or thinking about higher souls or specific person.
Right.
I don't have enough experience, but I have general thing.
Right.
Like when I'm in that mood, like I was writing or this, inspiration flew just from some source.
Okay.
And the same way, so many criminals get so many criminal ideas. They are into that trend and they somehow make connection with evil spirits or evil souls. So they get more creative ideas. You know, just look at criminals. They are ahead of the policemen. See? Yeah. So this is my overall thing, that Akashic record, there might be, everything could be stored.
Right.
We can tune in, and this is what happens when you are like going on the spiritual path. You constantly get inspired.
So just by the interest you can tune in. I don't have to necessarily.
Right. So tuning in, like meditating or
Right.
purifying ourselves. So making channel.
Everyone has the capability to tune in,
Right.
and some are more sensitive than others. It just comes naturally for them. And the girl that was helping with all this, she would get an impression. She would look at you and get an impression, and then she would try to put like a word to the impression. Sometimes the words didn't come out exactly right because she was trying to describe the impression that she was feeling. And then over a 5-minute, 10-minute thing, whatever was happening between the impression, the dead person, and this medium type person, it kind of all came together. And like for myself, she did have a very accurate description of my grandfather, and I hadn't planned on talking to my grandfather. I thought my mom would come through, but my grandfather came through, and she described him perfectly, even to the point where she was able to reproduce some of the exact things that he would say at like the dinner table, and that was just incredible.
Yes. So many people near the death, they describe seeing ancestors. Peace Pilgrim described like ancestor came and told her, your time is to go back. Edgar Cayce did lots of reading. It's from some source. He tapped into the source. Just like certain herbal medicine and certain spiritual guidance. So there is some kind of collection of all the memories in Akashic record if somebody tunes in. Some people are natural psychic, some people are not. But all of us have some ability to tune in, because that we do all the time. We don't realize, but somehow we are tuning in. Something unknown, so we cannot relate to it.